Thank you for tuning in to The Secret Services. I'm Quintari Shakir, otherwise known as the Psychic Professor. Go to www.blackspectrumnetwork.com to purchase a psychic reading, and you can also receive other spiritual services at that website as well. Please like, subscribe, and share this video with someone in your spiritual family, and tell me in the comments what you think of my interpretation. Today we're going to be doing a reading on Beyonce and Jay-Z. I'm going to be conducting this reading from Jay-Z at the core. So we are going to get a reading about Beyonce and Jay-Z, but mainly it's going to focus on Jay-Z. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Cool. All right, so I'm just gonna pull them all out. All right. So Jay-Z's reading is speaking about Jay-Z is being incredibly patient in his relationship with Beyonce right now. Right now, I will say this. These two cards are telling me that Jay-Z wants to bring about balance into his relationship with Beyonce. Beyonce wants to continue bolstering her career. Jay-Z wants to continue bolstering his career as well. They're going about it in two different ways. What I'm hearing from this particular card is that Jay-Z is thinking about wealth building. He's thinking about ways to multiply his money through wealth building strategies. It's just that that money takes a long time to compound. And Beyonce, on the other hand, makes the argument that they can make large sums of money by producing music. And for Beyonce, because she's younger than him, she's saying to herself, my career has spanned decades. I'm hearing this. I'm going on 3 decades in my career. And I want to do something that's going to help me to achieve legend status, because that's still debatable amongst my contemporaries and amongst the public. People are still debating if I'm a legend, and the conversation is leaning towards a yes for her. And Jay-Z knows this. Jay-Z wants to support her in becoming a legend, but he also, for himself, he's saying, I also have my own goals, and my goal was to eventually get out of the music industry and just produce music when I want to, and not have to do it for the purpose of making more money. Now, both of them do like making music. Both of them are musicians. But the thing is, Jay-Z has achieved his legend status. Beyonce has not. Jay-Z, because he's further ahead than Beyonce in terms of completing his spiritual goals, he is now waiting at the finish line for her to complete hers. He's ready to be a father, which is why he's trying to make more business, more passive income-based decisions around attracting money. And for Beyonce, on the other hand, she is also open to that same thing as well. Beyonce is putting herself first. Jay-Z is putting Beyonce first as well. Now, I know that this tour that they're going on is Jay-Z's tour, but what is most interesting to me, what I hear, is that Beyonce is using Jay-Z's tour, because Jay-Z might not have done a tour. Jay-Z might have just toured off of this album, and it might not have been as large as he had wanted it to be. Just enough to say that I did a tour, just to meet the bar. Beyonce says, well, let's meet the bar, but I can also use this as an opportunity to provide people I can use this as an opportunity to extend my 1,500 minutes of fame, right? Beyonce is going to have 1,500 minutes of fame, not just 15, but she's saying I can still be in the public consciousness by way of your tour, and that will make it easy for me to release my next album. The taste of Beyonce will still be on people's palates, and they will still be ready for her full course meal, which is that album. And Jay-Z, that album is to help push her into legend status. Jay-Z knows that, okay? So that's what those two cards are telling me. Right now for Jay-Z, he's suffocating right now, but he's suffocating. He feels as though he's drowning. And he's drowning in life lessons, self-development. Let me put it this way. Jay-Z, there were so many things boiling under, so many lessons that he was supposed to learn in terms of establishing himself as a husband and establishing himself as a father. Fatherhood made him think more about his husbandhood and made him think deeply about his manhood. And all these life lessons that are coming to him are really, all these different life lessons are coming to him are really, they're positively stimulating him. So what I'm trying to tell you is that sometimes people can go through spiritual trials and tribulations, and they're like, "Oh my God, I know that the universe is working on me in some way. I know that God is sending me a bunch of tests during this season of my life." And Jay-Z's in a season of his life where he's being suffocated by old memories of times that he failed to be a good husband, and he failed to be a good man to people. Does that make sense to everyone? Which is why he's putting Beyonce first and during this tour. It's not for him, it's for Beyonce. It's for Beyonce's career. The money helps both of them, definitely, and that's his investment into it. But it really helps to push Beyonce further into legend status. With that said, that doesn't mean that Jay-Z is he's truly gung ho forward. I see him doing doing this tour begrudgingly, because this is the thing. He's doing it begrudgingly because he's like, man, I've been waiting so long to just be at peace. And finally, the universe has shown me what I needed to be at peace. And that was to have a family. And that was to create my own family. I'm a creator. I didn't manufacture a family. I created a family. And I want to spend time with my creation, because I spent enough time with my music. My music has allowed for me to live in isolation away from everyone. And me focusing on my music and putting my music first meant that I didn't have to be the best husband. It meant that I didn't have to be the best man in private. But now that I'm suffocating and I want to develop myself, and now that I'm looking back on all the times that I failed and I want to do those things over, I want it now. I want my family. I want to show to them that I'm different. I want to show them that I'm getting better. I want to show to my wife that I'm getting better, that I've gotten better, and that this wasn't all for naught. I want to show her that there were elements of this album that were truly vulnerable. And I want this marriage to work. I want this to be at the forefront of everything that I do. The money, I've already made it. That's what he's saying to himself. And Beyonce is numb. Beyonce hasn't truly warmed up to everything that he's offering to her in terms of putting her first. She believes it in her heart, but her mind won't allow for her to get tricked again. Her mind is saying, girl, he is genuine. And you know that when he speaks like this and he starts making these decisions, he's evolving. But at the same time, I'm tired. And so Jay-Z is largely supporting Beyonce by putting himself out there, putting out more music, telling his side of the story, and accepting responsibility for certain parts of Beyonce's story. Because there are certain parts of Beyonce's story that are obviously fabricated, but there are elements of it that are true. And when I'm talking about their stories, I'm talking about these stories that they're telling in these most recent albums. I want to make sure that my video keeps going, because it cut off before. We're going to ask the Spirit Board what the Spirit Board has to say about Jay-Z and Beyonce. It says here. It says Beyonce and, it says Jay-Z, it says R, it says definitely, no, it says R, cultural, it says icons, 4, it says the, masses, it says to, learn from, period. They, to, it says get, accomplish, it says she, talking about Beyonce, wants to bring forth new talent, those whose identities have been overlooked because they lack her, it says, charisma. So she wants to, so let me pause here. So essentially what they're saying is that Beyonce wants Kelly to be as successful as she is, for example. And Kelly was not able to be has not been able to be as successful as Beyonce, and we know the sociological reasons for that. We can talk about colorism, we can talk about sexism, we can talk about all the other different isms that have, kept black women as a collective from achieving the success Beyonce has. Beyonce wants, from a very young age, Beyonce has acknowledged and owned her charisma and her popularity, and she wants to teach other people how to do that, how to be charismatic and how to be talented, because it's a role that you play and it's an energy that you can tap into. And she can see through the matrix intuitively, and she wants to bring that to other artists. And Jay-Z's, it says here, for Jay-Z, it says he is trying to establish a business network, it says in entertainment, that will transform, it says, the entire, it says, industry from, it says, the core, period. Okay, so what this means is that, for example, Tidal is Jay-Z's opportunity to work with other business people to change the entertainment industry from its core. So Jay-Z says, all right, we're going to bring music artists together we're going to bring all these different music artists together, and sorry, my video cut off, but Jay-Z says that we're going to be anti-establishment by building an establishment, right? And so anyway, so Jay-Z says, I'm going to build an establishment that's anti-establishment with other business people. And we can change the face of the entertainment industry in TV, film, and music by way of creating our own platform that other people can go to. And if we can get this platform to dominate, we can control the means of production. We can then choose who we want to hire and transform the landscape of the entertainment industry. And so he and Beyonce have goals that complement each other, similar in changing the global structure of the media, the global structure of the media industry, and trying to put African Americans at the forefront of it. That's what you will see both of them trying to do. And they're going to be very, very strategic about it. It's not going to be radical pro-black. It's not a radical pro-black method. It just has a radical pro-black end. A radical and pro-black end. Okay. How did Beyonce and Jay-Z meet? Beyonce and Jay-Z met. So this is, I'm just gonna relay the story. So what the cards are telling me is that Beyonce and Jay-Z met at a time when Beyonce was coming out of Destiny's Child, and her career was not on pause, but she was in between moments of creativity, and Jay-Z was promoting an album at the time. He was already promoting an album, promoting music. And Beyonce happened to be in the vicinity of where Jay-Z is. And it's crazy how the spiritual lands out to me. But Beyonce was in the vicinity of where Jay-Z was. They had a conversation with each other. And immediately from there was lust at first sight between the two. Both of them were sexually attracted to each other. But they also were very much attracted to the business elements of their relationship. They love the rhythms of their conversation, bouncing ideas off of each other. There are certain ways, there are certain perceptions and biases that Beyonce had of the industry that Jay-Z had already possessed, and he was pouring into her wisdom by way of his street smarts, and Beyonce found that to be clever. Beyonce's also sexually attracted to him. So people may think that Jay-Z resembles an animal, but Beyonce's perception of him is that he has very strong masculine features. He has very pretty teeth. I like the way that his lips move and the way that he kisses me. She also likes other parts of his anatomy that aren't visible to the public. And yeah, it was a lust at first sight for the both of them. Jay-Z found Beyonce to be quite attractive. And Beyonce found Jay-Z to be incredibly attractive because of his mind. He doesn't think in the same way that other men do. And Beyonce had been around other intelligent businessmen, but she had never been around a businessman that was able to blend. He was able to blend these hood tales, hood fables, and hood logic with business. It was attractive to her. And then the relationship started. That's it. That's how it started. That's how they met. Then the relationship started. It began. It started in that moment. In that very moment of them encountering each other. It was lust at first sight for both of them. Does he manipulate her? Does Jay-Z manipulate Beyonce? Does Jay-Z manipulate Beyonce? It's difficult to describe, but fundamentally, yes. Fundamentally, Jay-Z does manipulate Beyonce. Fundamentally, at its core, he does manipulate Beyonce. Beyonce is not submissive. She's not passive. She's not submissive. She has her own mind. She thinks for herself. She takes a bit longer to process information Not that she's slow, but she takes longer to process information because she listens to each and every word that you say. And Jay-Z thinks much more quickly than she does, and he comes to the conclusions faster. He tosses out irrelevant details much more frequently than Beyonce does. And Beyonce, Jay-Z is smarter than Beyonce. And Jay-Z is smarter than Beyonce. Jay-Z is Beyonce's teacher, but Beyonce is not always Beyonce is not always the best student. Beyonce's brand makes a lot of her business moves profitable. And Jay-Z knows that, but Jay-Z thinks that if Beyonce would absorb and memorize foundational business techniques, foundational business models, she could be she could be her own mogul. She could Beyonce's a leader, but she's not the CEO of a company. She's a leader, but she's not the CEO of a company. And that's where Jay-Z has an edge on her. Over her. Is that he knows how to identify the strengths and weaknesses within people. Beyonce knows how to identify the strengths and weaknesses within art. And Jay-Z can do that as well. But the control is in Jay-Z being smarter than Beyonce. Because Beyonce has kind of accepted that her career would have been just as successful if she had stayed with her father. Maybe it might have been more successful in terms of chart success. It may have been more successful with her father, but her money, her tax returns are showing that she's financially more successful with Jay-Z. And she could have been symbolically more successful with her father. Beyonce signed good-ass business deals because of Jay-Z. Listening to his advice. Does he control her? Yes, because he says this: I've been right more than you have. I'm usually right. I'm usually right. I don't doubt you, Beyonce B, but I'm usually right. I get it, but I'm probably gonna be right. That's what he says. So it's not so much manipulation. It's more so he's overbearing with his opinion, and at times Beyonce can desire his opinion, and he won't give it to her to punish her. Did Jay-Z really cheat on her? Oops. Yep. He did. He was very sneaky about it. Beyonce had suspicions. Beyonce had suspicions that he had been cheating, but Beyonce didn't go through the phone. Beyonce didn't do a lot of those things because she didn't have the time. When Jay-Z was cheating on Beyonce, both of them were extremely overworked. Beyonce, and I'm hearing that I think it's that album 4. So please don't get me. Please correct me in the comments if I'm incorrect. But when that album 4, Beyonce, it was a low. I'm hearing low selling album, and they're saying it was low selling. Beyonce tried her best to show that I am an artist. I am an artist. I am an artist, a vocal artist, right? And Jay-Z, I don't know what Jay-Z was doing, but I'm hearing that he was also producing music at the time. Both of them were both out of sync with each other. Let's just put it that way. They were out of sync with each other. They were in the marriage, and they were working towards building a family. Beyonce wanted to wanted to have the career and to have the baby, Jay-Z had been stepping out, kind of, not even kind of, sort of, he had been stepping out. Beyonce was suspicious, and she kind of sort of cared, but at the same time, she was compartmentalizing, and she gets numb. She starts getting numb to the things that he does and says. And so she was numb to the idea that he could have been cheating on her, because she wanted to prove to the masses that she was a very capable and trained artist. I hope that makes sense. Jay-Z wasn't smart about it. He wasn't smart about who he did it with. Whoever this person is that he cheated with was when Beyonce found out, it was like, with her? Really? I knew, but why with her? Beyonce's mother had been telling her about her husband's behavior. She had been pouring a little bit of wisdom into him, kind of like, a girl, I'm finna just let you know your daddy used to do me like XYZ, and I'm just trying to put you up on game. Was Beyonce listening? Yeah, I mean, Beyonce was listening, but at the same time, her mom's voice was not as loud as the voice from within telling her, hey, I need to be a legend. I need to get this legend status. I need to get this legend status. I need to get this legend status. Mind you, all these cars are about Jay-Z. So Jay-Z was doing it behind Beyonce's back. It was with a woman that I think she has some sort of connection to both of them. And Tina knows is involved. I think Jay-Z, not that Jay-Z has a bad relationship with Tina Knowles, but he respects her as an elder. He just respects her as an elder. That's just it. I respect her as an elder. Jay-Z again. Jay-Z felt like when he fully engaged in the marriage, that Beyonce was still disengaged with the marriage. He felt that Beyonce just wanted the goo goo gaga, I love you, blah blah blah, I love you baby elements of the relationship. And he didn't mind being intimate and affectionate, but he also wanted to build a business together. And those, a lot of the times, those needs went unaddressed for him. Money and making money, creating projects and making those things successful stimulates him, and that need went largely unaddressed. He didn't feel heard. And then he stepped out and cheated. It doesn't make any sense. It was just ridiculous. That's the thing. Beyonce has suspicions that he did, and that's why Beyonce just didn't deal with it. Because she's like, he went and cheated because of this. Boy, but whatever. That's how she's thinking. Supporting her through it. There was another woman that was supporting Beyonce through this. This woman pulled back the curtain on it. Solange. It was Solange. Solange pulled back the curtain on it. This is Solange. Solange is her mother and Solange. Solange pulled back the curtains on it. Solange told Beyonce, look, girl, look, this is who it is. This is what it is. Here the phone. Here the text. Look, girl, it's in your face. That's how she's trying to put it. And Solange is so aggressive, so rah-rah, so loud, because Solange feels what Jay-Z did was tremendously disrespectful to Beyonce as a queen. That's how Solange is saying it. As a queen, it was tremendously disrespectful to you. It could tarnish your image if this gets out. People look up to you. They respect you. You need to make sure that you rein him in. And the mom is saying, listen, baby, listen. He's doing this. Beyonce was just numb to it all. She was just numb. And Jay-Z Jay-Z was doing the best that he could. He thought he was doing the best that he could in this situation. He's like, you know what? We tried to have a baby. I tried to give her that. I've been loving on her. I take her out. I married her. Gave her the ring. She just don't want. It just doesn't seem like. I took her from under her father's jurisdiction, and now she's still leaning on me for fatherly stuff. And when am I ever gonna just get to be a husband? And Jay-Z didn't know at the time the things that she was asking him to do meant that he had to be her husband if he fulfilled those needs for her. Man, this reading is going on very long. I'm sorry, y'all. So I might have to cut this into 2 parts. I don't know. But I'm going to keep going. Is there a relationship or business arrangement? Whoops. Okay, so that may have been more or less than 7. 7's my favorite number. I can't remember if there was more or less than 7. Is there a relationship or business arrangement? Their relationship is a business arrangement. And that's what causes a lot of their problems, is that it's a business arrangement. New problems arise every single time they start trying to work together doing business. And it's because they're out of sync with each other. There are different ways to going about legend status, Beyonce, about being a legend. There are many different ways. And the thing is, whenever they do business together, Jay-Z ends up in the long run investing more money, more attention, and more energy into their business than he does their relationship. He doesn't like that. He doesn't like it too much. It bothers him on the inside, but he feels it's necessary in order to please his wife. Because he feels that it's a karmic imbalance. He's like, you know what? I have to meet your needs because my needs have been met and I didn't even know it. I didn't even know my needs were being met. And I was stepping out on you. It is a business arrangement. But it's to cure the karmic imbalance. I hope that makes sense. Now let's close this out with what does Solange feel? How does Solange feel? And what happened in the elevator? How does Solange feel? And what happened in the elevator? I'm losing count of like how many times this is shuffled. I wasn't even counting. But it doesn't matter. 7 is just my favorite number. How does Solange feel? Solange. Okay, so I'm capturing the energy of the night of the elevator. Solange may feel differently now. This is the energy of the night of the elevator. The night of the elevator, Solange, this is the night that Solange pulled the curtain back. Solange exposed everything to Beyonce. And Beyonce was numb. She processed it. She just said, you know what? I hear you. And she was just taking it in. Beyonce at the time was scrutinizing every single detail of every single detail within the stories that Jay-Z had been telling her about the problems in their marriage and their relationship, and who he had been into. And he had admitted to some things, but he had lied about the identities of the people that he had been with. And there were multiple women. Not like he was out there hoeing, but there was more than one woman. And Solange pulled the curtain back on the ringleader and exposed a lot. And then the thorns came. The thorns came that night. The thorns came from Solange because she saw how numb Beyonce was. And in that moment, she was like, you've petrified her. You did this. Solange created a lot of issues for herself that night. She created tons and tons of issues for herself that night. And she knew she would. But she she felt that she had to react that way in order to wake Beyonce up. She did it to wake up Beyonce, taking it out on Jay-Z, drawing on her sister's energy to do it for Jay-Z. See, that's the thing. Solange has been the oracle, the messenger for a lot of Beyonce's ideas, and she brings to Beyonce. She brings to Beyonce's music depth and texture, but she also brings to Beyonce's soul wisdom and integrity, and the backbone. And so Solange dove into Jay-Z, and it created many, 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 many problems. Not just, it created problems with Jay-Z's team. Jay-Z's team was upset with Solange. Beyonce's team was upset with Solange. Solange's team cheered on Solange. The mom, Tina Knowles, was excited. And this is what the spirits are telling me. It created a lot of chaos. And at the heart of it, everybody looked at Solange as the problem. They were all like, so why would you do that? Why would you expose this? Why would you peel off this Band-Aid and expose this nasty wound and infect everybody? Solange didn't give a shit. Solange did not care. Solange felt that she was bringing about justice. She said, I'm bringing about justice by bringing up the facts. This is the smartest thing to do. Because this relationship is trash, in her opinion. That's how Solange felt about it. She's like, fuck the public. This is how I feel. I should beat your ass because you ain't shit. And you ain't never gonna be shit. She didn't use those exact words, but that's the energy from which she was speaking. The obstacle for Solange. The obstacle for Solange is now the spirits of now her spirit, she feels, and Solange, I wouldn't say she's bullheaded, but her strong-willedness made her feel as though, you know what, I'm now a permanent fixture. I'm now a third party in you all's marriage in a way that, I never was before. It's not just me. It's not just Beyonce. It's not just Jay-Z. It's all of us. Beyonce's not going to just come. B is not going to come to me with her problems anymore. No, what's going to happen is I'm going to influence this situation from the inside out with my hands and my words. That's how she feels about it. That's just how she feels. That's why she went about it in that way. And finally, where's Beyonce and Jay-Z's marriage headed? Where's their marriage headed? Whoops. Six. 7. There are going to be more marital problems that are going to come up between them. More marital problems. Because they're trying to... their marital problems have still gone unaddressed. This numbness that Beyonce feels. What they're telling me is that Beyonce may start loving her children more than she loves her husband. Beyonce may really start loving her children more than she loves her husband. And I think Jay-Z, it's not an issue with Jay-Z, it's an issue with Beyonce. Beyonce is very bitter. She's holding on to a lot, and she's very hurt. And she feels as though She's never had time to lick her wounds, and she wants to rest. She wants to rest. She's tired. She's tired of being numb, because being numb is playing a role. It takes a lot of energy out of her to just do nothing, to not strike back, not lash back, to just look him straight in the face, sometimes, and not be present. Yeah, I mean, where their marriage is headed, they're gonna stay married, y'all. There's not gonna be a divorce. But as far as the interior details of their marriage, this tour is not an indicator at all that things are good between them. If anything, it's an indicator that Jay-Z is working towards putting her first, and eventually the karmic imbalance will yes. Anyway, that's all to say that this karmic imbalance will eventually it will eventually equal out. Eventually, it will happen. But as of right now, Beyonce's still numb. Jay-Z is still repairing things. It's going to take a while. It's not going to be immediate at all. And if I ask the board, it says here, it says they will, it says be, it says they will be going, it says back and forth, it says starting, it says arguments with each other, it says over the, it says direction, it says of the marriage, it says after, it says the tour, it says has been completed, period. And that's because once the tour has been completed, a new project starts. Beyonce's project, Legend Status. And Beyonce's going to be stressed, and she's going to be expecting a hell of a lot of support from her husband. All right, you guys. I know that reading was very, very long. I'm sorry I took up so much of you all's time. I hope that you all were interested in what I had to say. If I rambled at all, please let me know. But with that said, I want you to go to www.blackspectrumnetwork.com and purchase a private psychic reading from me. In addition to that, please like, subscribe, and share this video with someone in your spiritual family. Tell me in the comments section what you think of my interpretation of the cards. And thank you for tuning in to The Secret Services. I'm your host, Quintara Shakir, otherwise known as the Psychic Professor. And I'll see you all at another time. Bye-bye.
I just wanna fly away. First class out of space.